Hello, my friends. My name is Lenora, and this is my friend Dawn. And we are here to do a little bit of chair yoga for our senior community. We know that with COVID happening, going on its 7th month, I think, that we are all lacking that personal communication and interaction with each other. And so we know that this is not quite the same as coming in and doing a live class with our friends. It's the best we could do at the moment. So we hope that you'll be able to use this practice on your own whenever you feel like it, and that soon we will be back visiting your facility, and that we'll be able to do this together. So let's get started by just talking a little bit about what we want to do in our chair yoga. If you haven't done yoga before, it's a whole new thing. If you've done it before, not in a chair, it's a little bit different. But the idea is that with our aging population, we want to stay as flexible and as healthy and mobile as we possibly can, regardless of our situation. So that means for everybody, it's going to be different, right? Everybody's going to have a different range of motion. Everybody's going to have different injuries, different histories, all that stuff. So the main thing that I like to remind people of in yoga class is that this is totally individual, totally for you, totally for you, totally for me. Everything goes, anything goes. And as long as we don't feel pain, we're probably doing it right. There's a little sensation and pushing a little bit to the edge, but it shouldn't be pain. When we feel pain, we really need to back off and approach it in a different manner, modify however we need to. So that's why there's two of us here today. We're going to be showing you a couple of modifications when we can. And hopefully, just having a good time for about 30 minutes or so. Just enjoying ourselves, enjoying our healthy bodies, and enjoying the movement that we are blessed to have. So, Dawn, can you tell us a little bit about the breath that we're going to do and why?
Yes. We'll start with a breathing practice because the breath is the life force rides on the breath. We all know that. The life force, the power of life rides on the breath. With every breath we take, we bring more vitality and more energy and more power into our bodies. And learning how to direct it and how to use it and how to enhance it I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. It just makes you feel so much more alive. The life force can fill your entire body. So why don't we start together? And you can either close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or put your gaze down, because when your eyes are open, the senses of vision, it calls you into what you're seeing. So we want to call ourselves into ourself. So lower your gaze or close your eyes and just take an inhalation and an exhalation. Breathe in and breathe out. And you might feel more comfortable breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Or you might prefer breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Whatever your body likes the best, whatever your body prefers. Let's see if we can have a long spine, because our lungs inhabit the upper part of our body. And if we're all crunched over, we're not going to be able to expand our lungs like a balloon. So let's create some space. So let's start now.
Let's just wait for the jet to pass. I hope he's now coming back.
So let's start breathing into our upper chest for a second. So it's like you're expanding the area right underneath your clavicle. Imagine you can pull the breath right in your upper chest. Let's breathe in there. And now, let's imagine we can breathe in the center of our chest so much that our rib cage can expand. We can find space between the ribs. So if it's comfortable, put your hands on your ribs and take an inhale and an exhale. Feel your ribs expand open and draw closer to one another. One more time. Now let's put our hands on our belly. And imagine that you can bring air into your belly so it blows it up like a balloon. So imagine breathing in and lifting your hands away, blowing up that balloon, and exhale, your balloon deflates. And inhale, your balloon expands, and exhale, your balloon deflates. Try it once on your own. Now let's put it all together. This is called 3-part: upper chest, middle chest, belly. It's the whole breath. So here we go. Maybe put our hands up here so we can feel the upper chest expand. Breathing in through the upper chest. And exhale. Breathing in through the middle chest. Feel those ribs expand. And exhale. Breathing in through the belly. And let it deflate. Now this is going to be tricky because we're going to put it all together. And it takes a big breath. So not to worry if you need to take a breath while we're doing it. So breathing in through the upper chest and the middle chest and the belly. And now deflate the belly. Let the ribs relax. And the upper chest. So let's go. Breathing in, upper chest, rib cage, belly, and exhale. Belly, rib cage, upper chest. One more time together. Breathe in through the upper chest, the rib cage, the belly, and exhale. Belly, rib cage, upper chest. Try it twice on your own. 3 parts, whole breath, filling your body with life force. Here we go. And now let's take a breath where we breathe in to the count of 3. And we breathe out to the count of 4. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3. Breathing out, 1, 2, 3, 4. And find your natural breath, the way you always breathe. And let's open our eyes and feel more full of vitality.
And more grounded to my seat and my feet on the earth. So explain to us why breathing out longer than breathing in, what does that do for us?
An example would be, you know when you get like anxious or scared or worried, you're like,
Really shallow.
You're inhaling fast. And when you're really relaxed, you get a wonderful phone call, you're watching a great movie, you're sitting outside. You go, ah. It's your body's natural breath of relaxation is the exhalation. So if we breathe in for 3 counts and breathe out for 4, we finish with your body thinking, oh, it's time to relax. Maybe you would prefer breathing in 1, 2, breathing out 1, 2, 3. Maybe you have a lot of breath and you want to try 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever ratio you choose, it's nice to end on an exhalation because you'll feel more relaxed.
Thank you. And it doesn't matter if we count differently than you do.
Not at all.
So it's just the point. We will
count differently. Okay. And may I just add one thing? If you have them equal, it is perfectly fine. In fact, that's what they call the breath of equilibrium. It makes you feel balanced. Not excited, not relaxed, balanced. So sometimes you might want to go in 3, out 3, or in 3, in 4, out 4, whatever you prefer.
Great. And do you want to do this for a long period of time? I feel uncomfortable after I do it for a little bit. Is it more a short period and then you go back to your normal breath, or do we try to breathe like that? I don't think we could breathe like that forever.
No, I think though when you do practice it, it gets you into a different habit. So if you're sitting in your room or in the cafeteria and you start to feel a little anxious or something, you go, aha, now's the time. Breathing in 1, 2, 3. Breathing out 1, 2, 3, 4. You use it as a tool. And then sometimes the tool kicks in and you don't even realize it.
You might do it without noticing it, sure. Cool, that's great. Something to keep in mind, especially that equilibrium one. I like that a lot, where it's just pretty balanced and even. Gives us we're not ready to go to sleep, but we're also not on edge. It's a nice place. So let's begin with the warm up for the entire body. Remember I said we're going to work on flexibility for where we are right now, not anywhere we've been before or anywhere we might want to go in the future. It's just wherever we are right now. So that means your body today is different than it was yesterday and different than it's going to be an hour from now. And that's really what yoga is about. It's just taking the moment in and moving in the way that's right for us at the moment. So we'll just start with a little bit, we hold a lot of tension in our neck. We're going to just drop our ear over as far as we can, like we have a heavy earring on our head. And doesn't matter which side you go to first. And then we're just going to drop it down. Chin leads down to the chest, all the way down. Feel a nice stretch in the back of the neck. And then we're coming around the other side with a half circle to complete the other ear over the shoulder. I'm not a big fan of neck rolls completely because I have so many little issues in my neck that going around in a circle is not really good. If it's comfortable for you, it's something you really like to do, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, I really just stick to the half circle. So I go back down and I drop over with the ear and then come back down again and make that head as heavy as you can. And notice that we're trying not to lift the shoulder to meet the ear, but the ear down to the shoulder, so a little bit different. And we'll sit up nice and tall. We'll look over one shoulder, just noticing range of flexibility today, or range of motion rather. We'll return to see how far it is that we can see. And then we spin around the other way and we guide the chin over the opposite shoulder. And maybe notice one side goes further than the other. Again, that's totally okay, right? This is just where we're at today. We'll do that a couple more times, just gently moving, like kind of a little owl head here. And then coming back to center when we're ready. If you notice some tension in your neck when you did that, a little tightness one way or the other, usually just means that there's some tension in here, which you can actually just massage out a little bit if you're not lucky enough to have a massage therapist nearby. And just be aware of that. We carry a lot of tension in our neck and our jaw. As we do a relaxation at the end, we'll try to relax all of that of our body and see if that helps a little bit. Move on to shoulders with nice wide shoulder rolls. So remember, any injuries that you've had to your shoulders, it's going to come out and show here. Possibly your right one goes further than your left or something like that. Totally okay. And any pace works. So you take the pace that you like. Then we're going to go the opposite way. making sure that we exaggerate a little bit. So pushing the shoulders down away from the ears. And also, thanks for reminding me, we're going to keep breathing. So we're not holding our breath. Try not to hold our breath. And we just gently remind ourselves of that sometimes, because that's what we need, right? If we are holding our breath. And let that come down all together. We move into our arms, and we're going to have the option of using a scarf or a belt. A bathrobe scarf, a belt can work really well. A bathrobe, tie. And then just a regular old scarf. It doesn't matter. If you don't have a yoga strap, that's totally fine. So we'll begin with range of motion at the shoulders. And we'll begin by bringing our arms out, holding on to the strap. So you can hold them apart like Dawn is doing, or you can bring them maybe close together like a clasp here. And we'll lift up halfway, just right in line with the shoulders. If you pull away from the body, feel the shoulder blades spread. Oh, this might be hard to do with this scarf. I didn't think of that. So I'm going to push my arms open, but you are, okay, let's do it this way first. Let's try this a couple of times. You're going to go up just as high as you want to. Feel free to bend the elbows because you don't have to go straight up, okay? And go as far as you can. Feel the body nice and long. Then you're going to separate your arms and you're going to come all the way down to the edges of the room, down to your chair, and bring them back into prayer in the heart. You're going to do the same thing. Push away with the wrists, up to the sky, and all the way down to the edges. Now, if this is uncomfortable, let's show how to do it with a scarf. The scarf allows us to keep our hands a little closer to further apart, rather. And that way, lifting up is a little bit easier. Is that right, Dawn? Does it feel a little bit easier? Okay, good. And then we'll just pull forward and bring it all the way down. So this is great, even if you can do the other one. You probably try and do both of them. And going back just, not till it hurts, but just a little bit of push beyond our comfort zone. And that's what helps keep our shoulders moving nice and smooth the way that we like them to. And come on down one more time. Good. And then we'll let go of that. Let's bring our right arm across and give it a nice heavy arm. And we'll take our left arm and we'll pull that in. Yeah, nice and tight. Now, if your shoulder comes up like this, you need to relax it a little bit, let it go. And maybe back off a little with that stretch. If you feel this in your shoulder blade, in the right shoulder blade, then you're doing it properly, and this is perfect. Now, some people are going to go really far, some people aren't. Doesn't matter. This is your body, your range of motion. And then release, and we're going to come the other way. And we'll give ourselves a nice pull from the shoulder blade out to the elbow. Again, relaxing shoulder a little bit if it's getting tight, loosening up a little bit if it's uncomfortable. Good. So you may feel we're already starting to stretch the body, to twist the body a little bit with that. We're going to go a little bit further with that twist. And we will twist in the waist. So I'm going to have you sit in your chair sideways. I'm going to move mine, but you keep yours so they can see both angles, okay? So you're going to go, well, I mean, you're going to twist, but not your chair.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, okay. So we'll sit on the side of the chair with our knees even with each other, our soles of the feet on the floor. And we're going to reach around the chair behind us. So if you're turning to the right, I'm going to tell you to push your right hand away and pull with your left. If you're turning to the left, you're going to push away with the left and pull with the right. I know it's a little bit hard to talk about, but once you get it, you'll feel it. So there's one way where you begin to twist your body. That's good. Does that feel good? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this a lot. So it's a passive twist. You know, you're not using too many muscles of the side body, but you're doing it with the hand. You're pulling in with the one furthest away from you, I guess I would say, and you're pushing away with the other one. You'll feel this in the belly muscles, in the torso. And then you can do this as many times as you like, but what I like to do in between is just kind of relax back to neutral, maybe even take a counter twist to the other side, because you know we'll be going to the other side in a minute. And then coming back to center and doing the same thing maybe again as many times as it feels good to you. Don't over push it. You don't want to pull anything out here. So even though it feels really good, don't go past your comfort zone. And you can tell that by your breath. If you're breathing comfortably, then you're fine. If you're holding your breath or it's kind of stuck, you're probably trying too hard and you need to back off a little bit. Let's come on back to center. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. Whichever way you turned before, you're just going to turn the opposite way. And you sit up nice and tall, we'll begin to twist around. So you notice your chest comes kind of parallel with the back of the chair, or somewhat like that. And we try to keep our feet on the floor for some balance. Inhale as you lift up, and this time let's exhale. Pull the belly muscles in as you twist. Feel a tightening with all the muscles coming towards the spine. Inhale once again, exhale, twist. Pushing away and pulling at the same time on your chair, and then softening back to center. We'll take a little counter twist here just to the other side, just for fun. And we'll come back and do one more. Forgot to tell you that your chair ideally should have no arms on it. And should be just a pretty simple chair when you do chair yoga. You want your arms to be free. And coming back to center nice and easy. Nice. So we've done a little bit of warm up, and now I would like to move into some sun salutations that keep us moving nice and smooth. And we'll come sort of a little bit to the edge of our chair, just a little bit, so that we feel like we have a little more leg on the floor, a little more balance, okay? And in sun salutations, it's just a way to move the body in all its directions and kind of greet the day or the afternoon, whatever it may be, and be grateful for every breath that we take. We'll inhale, take a nice lift up into mountain pose. This is our seated mountain pose. And then on our exhale, we're going to lean over to one side. So I recommend holding on to the chair the first time, so you get a feel for your balance. You know you're not going to fall off. You're holding on to the base. Inhale, back up to the sky, and switch it over to the other side. Nice, and come on back to center. Both arms reach up. We're going to cactus the arms, like bent, like goalpost. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and give yourself a little lift up. This is a tiny little back bend. No further than is comfortable. Inhale back to center. And let's take a forward fold. So you can go through your heart, you can go out to the edges of the room, whatever you like. Open the legs a little bit so we have room to kind of come forward. If you have anything like glaucoma or retina problems or high blood pressure, you want to come halfway like I'm doing. If you don't, go ahead and show them full way. Yep. Full way is fine if that feels okay to you. If you feel dizzy, you want to just go halfway. It's totally fine. As long as you feel that stretch in your back, then it's perfect, okay? Now we'll roll up. Imagine your spine, each vertebra stacking on each other. Pull the belly in and roll yourself up to sitting, back where we began, and bring the arms back up into mountain pose. This is going to be our beginning sun salutation. Exhale over to one side. Doesn't matter which one. Inhale, lift up, sweep the sky. Exhale, other side. Inhale, back to center. Both arms up and open. Squeeze the shoulder blades, open the heart, gentle back bend. Inhale to the sky. And hands through heart center or wide. So you do hands through heart. I'll show you wide, just coming way, way, way out and sweeping down to the floor. And either halfway or all the way down. Now pull the belly muscles in, round the back, and stack it up nice and tall. So you should feel this in your belly muscles. And if you notice, you're doing the spine in all its possible directions. So first we come up, then we go side to side. We come back to a tall mountain pose, to neutral, and then we go to the other side. We come back to center. We open with a back bend, you're arching your back, and then we lift up and we come back and forward fold the opposite way that we just came from. Nice. Let's roll it up one more time. Arms all the way up. Let's do one on our own. So following your own breath. Nice. We'll roll ourselves up. Good job. We're going to come to standing in a moment, but first I want to do a little bit of flexibility for our fingers. So we know arthritis is very, very common, and what we try to do with arthritis is to just keep as nimble and flexible as we can, and we do that by practicing little hand motions and stretches and things like that. Here's kind of a fun one. We're going to start with our 2 fingers, and we'll start up by our hips, and we're going to walk them down 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way down to the knee, and then we'll walk them back. So fast or slow, it does not matter. You're really just working on full movement, like articulation of those fingers. If you've ever played an instrument, the piano, this is exactly the way you probably practice, or what your teacher would have you do. Now we're going to move it. This one was pretty easy probably. The next ones aren't. We're going to bring the middle finger and the ring finger together to move in an entirely different manner. Same thing, but it takes a little bit more effort, I think, for me anyway. And again, if you have injuries or things like that with one hand, you're going to notice a big difference, right? And that's totally okay. You're doing what's best for your left and your right. They may not always cooperate. It's okay. Okay, getting even harder, we're going to do ring finger and pinky. Now, if this is easy for you, then that's great. You probably, maybe you did something really nimble with your fingers when you were younger, or maybe you still do. You crochet or knit or something, I don't know, but this one is kind of hard for me. But remember, it's just practice, right? Just practicing it. And then when we get back up to the top, we're going to switch to thumb and pinky, which is more like a little spider, and you get your wrists into it a little bit too. Good job. And then one more, we're going to do thumb and first finger just to make it even, so they don't like get jealous. All the way back and all the way forward. One more time up. And then let them go. Shake it out. Always shake it out. Let it all go afterwards. We'll do a little wrist stretch too.
You know, look,
also,
that is very good for the brain as well.
You're right, it is.
It's really, it takes a lot of concentration. The brain has to send the messages. You can tell it's easy to go thumb and finger, but when the brain is trying to tell the pinky and the ring
to move independently, that's hard for me.
But yet, if we practice it, our brain will be able to make it simple for us.
Yep. Yep. It may not look pretty, but it'll happen.
Yep.
Simplify
that
a little
brain
bit.
can always
Thank you.
learn more.
There's always room for more. We'll push our hand away for a wrist stretch. Now you're going to say stop here. Take your other hand and bring your fingers back for a gentle push with the palm coming forward. Feel this in your wrist. And then we'll do the opposite. We're going to fold it forward with your fingertips coming towards your lower arm. Do this as many times as you need to. And again, you're not going anywhere where it hurts. You're just going to the edge of your range of motion. We'll do the other side. Come to a stop. Pull the hands, the fingers back. And then come back. And one more time each way. Nice, and then shake it out again. Good, good work. So I'm going to give you an option of standing balance now. So I know this is chair yoga. We are going to use the chair for our balance, but if you're able to, we're going to come up to standing and use the chair for our balance. If not, I'm going to have you sit on the edge of your chair and just follow along with what we're doing with our arms, okay? So we'll come into mountain pose. This will be mountain pose. This will be tree pose, and so on. So just follow along to your best ability. If you are coming up onto your
Would you like
standing,
me to stay seated?
that would be fine. Okay, yeah. If you're coming up to standing, and you can help us develop, because I don't really, it's not really a tree, but it certainly, you certainly could open one hip or something like that. So we'll experiment with this just a little bit. I'm going to move the camera so it doesn't cut off my head. Up here for that look. And then we'll use we use our chair in any way that is comfortable for us. You may use it just as a little bit of a safety net for standing, Or you may actually lean on the chair. Just make sure that you have a safe chair to lean on, okay? That it's not going to be wobbly, nothing with wheels or anything like that. So we'll come to standing wherever we like, behind the chair or not. And again, if you're a little bit wobbly, hold on to that chair with one arm. And we'll come into mountain pose. So ideally, both arms come up, drop down, open up a little bit, palms towards each other. And we root down into the ground with our feet. So we feel like we're roots going into the ground and leaves coming up to the top, growing out of our tree trunk. Again, one hand is totally fine, okay? And as we move into tree, I'm going to have you bring your hands to heart center, or you can have one to heart center and one down onto your chair. And we'll start with our right leg, and we'll slide it up just a little bit onto the calf of the other leg, okay? So for balance purposes, if you're a little wobbly here, hold on your chair. But also, you can touch the toes down to the floor and have 2 feet basically working for you, just the toes of one. And Dawn's going to do this without the balancing part, really, but a nice hip opener. So she'll be working on the seated version. And if you like, you can try hands to heart center. Now, if you're wobbly here, it's totally normal. We're standing on one leg. So it's totally right to wobble. That's how it's meant to be.
And
We have 2
Lenore,
legs.
we might be able to, those of us that are seated, to get more of a hip opener, we could hold on to our chair and move the leg
up
a little
to where it's
instead of
comfortable.
right on the floor like a kickstand.
Exactly, because you don't need it for the balance.
No,
so
you
much.
could put it on your shin, or you could even bring it up here. You might be able to set
cross
it
it
right
over.
like that.
Yep. And if that's the case, you can push down a little on that right leg, Dawn, just with a little bit with your hand. Yeah, and feel an amazing hip opener there. So all of these are options. And then we'll come out when we're ready. We'll get our balance back. And we'll try the other leg. So know that some days balance is easy and some days it's not. It's like actually some moments it's easy and some moments it's not. Find what works for you today. Where do you feel the most comfortable? And don't be afraid to hold on. There's no reason to, lose the safety feeling of holding on to something. You're still very tall and balanced. You can you don't even really need to put a lot of pressure on there, but it's there for you if you need it. We're going to turn the knee out. And again, Dawn can try to lift up a little bit higher, maybe up onto crossing her leg or in the middle of her leg, and push that hip away nice and easy. Yeah, so we feel an opening in this. Our hips they get very tight. Don't get quite enough movement sometimes. And so we need some activities that kind of open that up a little bit and work on the balance at the same time. Let's bring it on down. Come back into your tall mountain pose. Now we have both feet to stand on. So see how secure that makes you feel. Does it feel more secure than you did before? Bring our hand into our heart. Then we're going to do a little bit of crossover. So when we cross over our body with our hands or our legs, it connects our left and right brain, and it helps those 2 sides communicate. It literally improves your memory, your thinking process, and just your brain health in general. So anytime we cross over is a perfect time. I'm going to do this standing, but it's perfectly easy to do it seated as well. So I'm going to lift my right leg and my right hand and touch at the same time. There you go. And then I'm going to put that down. This is just marching in case you don't recognize it. So we're just lifting one leg and then the other. Now, even if you're lifting just a couple of inches off the chair, so your feet are just coming a tiny bit off the floor, that's okay. Still doing the same thing. Now, this is our parallel brain, left brain, right brain, thinking along like railroad tracks. As we twist and twist it up, it becomes a little more challenging. We're going to cross over, and then we're going to cross over the other way. You can do this fast or slow, doesn't matter. But as you cross your body with your arm, you're actually increasing that brain power. And if you exaggerate, that works too. And if you're really into the exercise of it and you feel comfortable, you can do this for quite some time, lifting nice and high. And you'll actually give your heart a little bit of exercise as well, just marching. If this doesn't come naturally to you at first, it will. Keep trying. Good, let's do one more each side. Great, and then come on back down onto your seat. That was awesome. So I think we're going to do one more little thing for our legs. You have any other ideas you want to do before our meditation? Anything your body really needs?
I think you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you. Let's do a little bit of rotation with our feet. So if this is a comfortable position for you to cross over, that's great. You can use your hand to make these beautiful circles with your ankle, because your ankles and feet really need some attention, usually. But if this is not accessible to you, then you can just bring your leg out. Sorry, I'm going to move the camera one more time. You can see my feet. And you can lift it up or even keep it right where it is, so that you don't have to be super flexible to do this. You can lift it up and just rotate in one direction, rotate in the other. Really take your time feeling that calf muscle as well as it works. Good, so going in both directions and maybe just pointing and flexing a little bit. Keeping our toes and our feet active and healthy. Same thing with the other sides. If you can cross it over, great. Rotate it with your hand. Makes your leg relax a little bit more. But this is not a comfortable position for everybody. So you can just bring it down, lift it up slightly, and do your rotations this way. And make sure that you go in both directions. Same thing as we do with our hands, really. Actually, do the wrists at the same time. You can even do both feet at the same time if you want. Good. Good. Going in both directions. Good. So we kind of worked from our head down to our toes, getting some range of motion, some flexibility, and then a little bit of movement to get our heart moving just a little bit. And now we are ready for the most important thing. So maybe this is not really common knowledge, but yoga, we think of yoga in the Western world as exercise, but yoga is actually developed to be the process before meditation, the process to prepare for meditation. So the most important part comes kind of after the physical yoga, when we can actually relax and quiet down the mind. So we'll work a little bit with that. If you say, I can't sit still, I can't meditate, all that stuff, that's very common perception. And it doesn't happen for a long period of time, right? How many minutes in a half an hour meditation? That's a half an hour meditation is very long, but if you could do it, how many minutes do you think you would be really deep in meditation, and how long do you think you'd be trying to get to meditation?
It would just be in and out like a wave at the sea, up to the shore and out, in and out.
Right. So if you're sitting and you're quiet and you're putting effort into your posture, into your breath, or trying to keep the thoughts quieted down a little bit, then you are meditating. Okay, it's not a magical thing. I mean, it can feel great, but it's not magic that happens after a certain amount of time. Meditation is a practice, but it's a very rewarding practice for most people. And so we encourage you to give it a try. And if it doesn't work the first time, or if you don't think it worked, it sort of did anyway, but maybe you didn't like it as much. Maybe you need to try a different kind. So maybe we can teach you a different kind next time. But I'm going to let Dawn take over with a nice little meditation especially for beginners. So just let your body go. Listen to her words. Close eyes or open them, whatever feels good to you.
One of the most important things is that you're comfortable. Because if you're in any kind of pain or discomfort, your brain is going to be going, ouch, ooh, ah, ah. So let's find a comfortable spot. It'll be different for everybody. Having your back resting against something, if you don't have a pillow right now, no worries, but maybe at another time you could get a pillow. And if you could have your feet flat on the ground, because you want to feel the earth. You want to be rooted to the earth. And then you want to rise up through all of your joints. Imagine that there's space in your ankles and some space in your knees. You might want to move a little bit. Some space in your hips. Some space in your lower back. Space in your shoulders. And let your head sit right on top of your shoulders with your chin kind of floating down. If we're going to be pulling the life force breath in and we're going to settle into ourselves, our true self, we want to be comfortable. So we'll start with a body scan, which means we're going to scan each part of our body to make sure that they're as relaxed and let them go. Relax as they can be. So let's put your attention in your feet. Feel your toes on the ground. They feel soft and relaxed and open and soft. Then your ankles. Let your ankles go. Let them feel open. Lower legs. Space. Breath. Now the knees. Do you feel some space? Can you let them be any softer? Now your upper legs, sitting on the chair. Can you feel the chair? Can you melt into the chair? Could you let your legs soften at all? And then your belly. Can you take that big balloon breath, opening up your whole belly? And now your rib cage. Nice big breath, expanding space in between the ribs. And now your upper chest. Breath opening up like your heart is the highest point of your body. That might make you want to stretch forward and let your shoulders go back and down. Imagine your shoulder blades could touch one another. And then sit back. And your neck is long. Chin just floating towards your chest. And now the jaw. Let the jaw go. And the cheeks. Let your jaw kind of hang open a little bit. And your eyes. Let them feel soft. And your forehead. I know we all have wrinkles, but let's let those wrinkles soften up a little bit. Let it go. And the top of your head, imagine it's so open, there's like a tube in there. You can pull the life force in from the sky. And your arms resting very softly on your thighs. Your hands, maybe open palms up. Fingers so soft. Now we're going to take a couple of those full body breaths. Let's breathe in through the upper chest and the rib cage and the belly. And exhale through the belly, the rib cage, and the upper chest. And now let's take a breath that we'll use for the rest of the meditation. That's an equal breath. So the ratio of breathing in and breathing out will be the same. Let's try 3 together, first of all. So breathing in, 1, 2, 3. Breathing out, 1, 2, 3. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3, and out, 1, 2, 3. Let's try 4. See which one feels best for you. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Decide which one you liked, which one felt the most comfortable, and you'll pick that ratio. So let's just start to breathe, breathing in and breathing out, and just focus on that. And you might be thinking, I thought we were going to meditate, but focusing on your breath gives your mind something to do. That busy mind, whose job is to think. You may also want to either close your eyes or lower your gaze. Sometimes it doesn't feel good. It could be scary to close your eyes. But what we want to do is eliminate all the sights we see, because our mind will start thinking about them. So close your eyes or lower your gaze and start to breathe the same inhale and the same exhale. Let's try that for a couple minutes. And probably by now you've had a thought and you forgot about the breath. No worries. Let's pretend that the thoughts are like clouds in the sky. Your sky is a beautiful blue, your mind is a beautiful blue sky. Some people like to think of it as a sort of like a screen, like a white screen almost, like a cloudy sky. But when a thought comes, just let it go. Don't pay attention. Don't go along with the thought. You might think, oh, that was interesting, and let it go and come back to your breath. So let's practice that. Even inhale and exhale, a thought like a cloud just floats on by. So let's bring ourselves back and gently open your eyes. Gently go back to your normal breath. Feel your body relaxed. And as you feel so present, see if you can hear everything. Can you see everything? How do you feel? Do you feel hot? Do you feel cold? How does it feel to be inside yourself? If you feel peaceful or joyful, or sometimes you might not feel that great, that's okay. If you feel sad or an emotion comes up, that's going to happen. It's okay. And you take a look at it, and then you go, oh, there's sadness. And then let it float by just like that cloud in the sky. Go, okay, let it go. And then what comes next? Notice it, pay attention to it, and say goodbye, let it go. So now if we want to bring our hands to our hearts, and take a nice deep breath, feeling your heart open, feeling the connection that we shared in our yoga class and that you share with everything and everyone around you. And Lenora and I thank you all for being with us. We hope that you feel alive and relaxed and peaceful and full. Do you want to say anything?
No, I want to say let's do this again. It was fun. I hope you guys had fun. And if you have any feedback for us, I'll put my email somewhere in that in the link with the YouTube video. I hope we'll do this again. And if you guys are up for it, I had a really good time.
I did
so
too.
So there you go.
I can't wait to see you guys again.
Yeah, so hopefully one day we'll really see you soon. But in the meantime, I hope this, just brings you a little bit of peace and comfort and a little bit of normalcy in this very weird time that we're in. So,
And may I make a suggestion?
Yes.
It might be a good idea if you want to watch this class again, that the people that you live with and help you could pull it out, because the more often you do it and the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. It starts to become a habit, and then you go, wow, I feel so much better. And then Lenora and I will come with something new. So I hope you practice this again.
Mm-hmm. And even if you practice a little tiny part of it, right? Yoga is not necessarily an hour-long class or a 40-minute class, or you don't have to dress up for it. You don't have to, you can do it sitting where you are at the moment, and you can do 2 minutes of it. You can practice the breathing. You can practice the hand exercises. You can do any little bits of it. It doesn't have to be done in a certain order or for a certain amount of time. So use whatever you remember. If you just remember one thing that comes to you, give it a try. And let us know how it goes, because the more you do it, the more feedback you'll probably have, and maybe you can tell us a couple of things that you would like to see, or issues that you'd like to work on in particular in your body. So,
and then you might not even need the video after you do it a couple of times.
No, probably not.
You could sit in your room and do some of them, even while you're watching TV.
Yeah, it's definitely, especially chair yoga. It's very portable wherever you are. And we'll bring you more ideas so you don't get bored with these. But in the meantime, it's a good place to start. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining us. Great to see you, sort of, and hope to see you for real.
Yep.
Soon.
Be well. Stay safe.